All right, Jasmine, we have just a couple more rules that I think are a little bit simpler than this one. This one's kind of hard to digest. So we have a couple more rules in your worksheets that they go over. And the first one is if you have two things inside the radical. Here we've only had one thing, 1b, but if we have two things, such as if you have a number out here, like the cube root or the square root, and there's two things multiplied to themselves inside the radical, okay? Now to make things easier for us, sometimes it's easier if we split them up. Now maybe take that same number and put on the outside of both of them individually, and they're multiplied between themselves, okay? For example, if we had, get a piece of paper. Okay, for example, if we had cube root of 8 times 27, okay. If we multiply these together, it might be a little hard because it's a huge number to find the cube root of that number. But we could split it up, cube root of 8 times the cube root of 27. That's a little easier to digest because we know the cube root of 8 is 2 because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And the cube root of 27 is 3. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So it's a little easier to digest instead of this huge 8 times 27. Okay, so that's that rule. Okay, and then we have the last main rule is this also applies if they're being divided. So we have a radical here and the two things inside are being divided. We can split those up. So the radical 8 and then the radical of b. Okay. So we're going to use those two rules as examples. And these examples will be very similar to your worksheet. Okay. So keep this if you want to take a picture of that on your phone or whatever. Those are the rules you kind of have to abide by in these examples. Okay. Here we go. So these are very similar to your examples in 5, 6. Okay. So they first give this 4th root of 81x to the 8th. And I saw you were a little confused on that, so I'd be happy to explain this a little bit more. So using our rules here, okay, those are two things multiplied inside of the radical. We have the 81 and the x to the 8th. So we can use our multiply rule and split those up into two different radicals. So this can split up to the 4th root of 81 times the 4th root of x to the 8th. Okay. So from here we can use our knowledge base of exponents and radicals to kind of simplify this as much as possible. So the 4th root of 81, I think you're better at this, is if you write this as 81 to the 1/4. So what multiplied to itself 4 times gets you 81. Now you can think about that. That would be 3. Okay. Now this one we can write, remember our rule over here. If we can go backwards. So if we have sorry, my dog, Rams. I know, the dog is outside, it'll be okay. Hey, come here. Sit. Stay. So if we have a number in here and a number on the outside number will go on the bottom, inside number will go on the top. So we're gonna use that rule for this guy. Okay, so we have x, and then the denominator will be 4, and then the inside number will be on top, the numerator. Okay, so we can simplify this though to be x to the 8/4 is 2. So our answer is 3x squared. Okay, so that was the first example. Second example here they gave you was a divide example. So they gave you cube root of x to the 9 over 2. Okay, so I'm going to again use my rules, my divide rules. I'm going to split it up into 2. So this is going to be cube root of x to the 9th over, I'm using the wrong color, oh, shame, over cube root of 2. Okay, I'm going to use my rules here. So the outside number is going to be my denominator, and the inside number is going to be my numerator. Okay, now here, just like I did the 81 over 1/4, I want to simplify this as much as possible. So this is the same thing as 2 to the 1/3. That denominator goes on, the outside number goes on the denominator. Okay, and then we can simplify this more. X, 9 over 3, that's x to the 3rd. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And 2 to the 1/3. So what number multiplied to itself 3 times equals 2? Well, that is not a whole number. There is a number out there that does that. It's a decimal, but it's not a whole number. Okay, so we're actually going to just leave it as 2 to the 1/3, or we can even put it back in the radical. Okay, we're going to leave it there. Since it's not a whole number, we can't simplify it to a whole number. We're going to leave it like that. And I know it says on your worksheet, I believe it says rationalize denominator. What that means is that this is not a rational number. It's a decimal, it's non-repeating and never ending. When they say rationalize denominator, they do not like an irrational number in the denominator. So they want you to rationalize it by multiplying it a bunch of times to the top and bottom. I'm not going to make you do that. You don't have to do that. You can just keep it like this if you'd like. Okay? You're learning enough right now. Okay? All right, so let's do a couple more examples because it's a tough concept. So we're going to move on to ones like you'll have. So a cube root, 125, x to the 9th. Okay? And I'm going to give you 4th root of x to the 8th over 81. Okay, I want you to pause the video and try to do this on your own. Okay, hopefully you've tried it. Okay, this is another multiply one, so I'm going to split it up into 2 multiplication expressions. Okay, now I can simplify this. This is the cube root of 125. So what number multiplied to itself 3 times equals 125? We've already done this. That's 5. Okay, and this guy, I need to put this into a fractional exponent. So again, this 3 is going to be on the denominator, so x3 on the top is going to be my 9. So this is going to be 5x to the 3rd. Cool. Now this one, again, pause the video, try to do it yourself. I'm going to split these up into 2 because there's a fraction inside. So I can do the 4th root x to the 8th. I can do the 4th root of 81. This is similar to the number 1 example. Okay. This guy, again, the outside number is going to be my denominator, and then the inside number is going to be my numerator. 4th root of 81, what number multiplied to itself 4 times equals 81? That would be 3. Almost done. I just need to simplify this fraction. 8 over 4 is 2, so x squared over 3 is our answer. Very similar to example number 1. All right, just 2 more examples, Jasmine, and I think we'll be set. If you need more help, feel free to email me. Appreciate your reaching out because it's not easy doing school online. All right, so we've got the cube root. Okay. And then this problem. Okay, you can try to do these on your own and then check with me. right, so I look at this and it's a division problem. So I would automatically want to put these into two different roots or radicals. What I see here is that I can actually divide 64 and 8. Okay, I actually might want to do that first because then my problem might go a little bit faster. Okay, so this is going to be cube root 64 divided by 8 is 8, so I have 8x cubed. That looks a lot better, right? Okay, so if you can do that, try to do that. If there's a number you can divide and it makes your life a little easier, you can do that. Okay, then I can do the multiplication rule. Wrong colors. So then I have 8 radical third root of 8 times the third root of x cubed. The third root of 8, what multiplied to itself 3 times equals 8 is 2. And then this guy, again, the outside number is the denominator, the inside number is the numerator. I can simplify a little bit more. This fraction, 3 divided by 3 is 1, so I can just 2 times x to the first, but I don't need to put the 1 because that's just the default. Okay. All right, this one, you got 2 radicals here with the same number on the outside. So this is kind of like the reverse. We're going to do the reverse rule of the multiplication rule. So the multiplication rule, there's 2 things inside, and you split it up into 2 radicals like this, kind of like what we have here. Now to help us out, I kind of notice here that there's no third root of 9, there's no third root of 3. So I'm going to see if I multiply them together, that will help me out. So I'm doing kind of the reverse rule of multiplication. I'm taking 2 radicals that are multiplied together and I'm making it 1 radical. This is going to be the third root of 9x times 3x squared. So I just took those 2 things and put them under 1 radical because they have the same number on the outside. If these were different numbers, you could not do that. Okay? Now, I'm going to keep simplifying this. Now I can multiply these guys together. So 9 times 3 is 27. And x times x squared is x cubed. Now this looks much nicer for me to work with. And I can see already that I can take some cube roots of these things. Okay, so now I can use the multiplication rule and split them up into 2 radicals. I know it seems kind of like we're going in circles, but I promise it is helpful. So this is going to be the cube root of 27 times cube root of x cubed. All right, the cube root of 27 multiplied to itself 3 times equals 27. That is 3. And then again, the 3 is the denominator, and then this 3 is the numerator. So I've got 3 times x to the first. Bam. I hope that helped, Jasmine. Let me know if you want some more examples or you have questions on what I did. Let me know, or if you want to even do a video conference, that would be fine too. Just let me know what helps. Okay, bye.